Like, the 49ers have been the healthiest team in the league. Probably through the first 6 games.
Yeah, that was a body bag game.
Let's go out and take a couple calls. Let's go to Dennis in Vallejo. Hey, Dennis, how you doing, man?
D.
Hey, Dennis, how you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out a few things about Purdy.
Okay.
You know, listening to these callers talking about Purdy's not the one. Well, first of all, Purdy went against the number 1 defense, right? Secondly, Ayuk had 3 drops, and one of them could have went for a TD. It hit both of his hands, and he should have caught it. And third, Purdy gave the team a chance to win on that final drive. If anything, Kyle got conservative on 3rd down, and he had 1 timeout. He could have went for more yards to get Moody closer for that field goal.
It's true. It's true. It's
and
good.
Lastly,
yeah, go ahead.
Purdy is the real deal. Okay? This was his first big test, and he passed it. It's not his fault that Moody missed the field goal. Moody missed 2 field goals, not 1, but 2. If he would have at least made one of those, they could have still, Browns would have had to score a touchdown to win.
Mean, thanks for the call, Dennis. Appreciate it.
Scotty, I thought he was in range, Moody.
He was.
Yeah. I mean, you get drafted that high. It had the distance. Man, do you call it the yips? We can't call it the yips, but this is the first time we've seen him to where it was an actual meaningful game. We were in Vegas. We saw him, I forget, the Chargers. At the end of the game, they won, but it barely went in. It was a preseason game. Too close for a lot of people. Like, hey, nothing to see here, but yesterday we saw it. So I ain't blaming Kyle for Moody missing the kick. And what are we talking about, Stoddy, if they win that game, which they didn't? Nothing to see here. No, but Purdy, it was his worst game. That's my biggest takeaway. It was Purdy's worst game. We've been waiting for it.
Yes, but if Jake Moody makes that field goal, today we are once again celebrating Brock Purdy, because now we say that's the sign of a great quarterback who
Did
can
he let you down?
Who can win without his best stuff. He's 12 for 27 from the field. 12 for 27 passing. And
led you down the field to get in range.
Moody makes a field goal, and we're talking about how Brock Purdy's still perfect. So, in a way, I bet you this loss doesn't bother the 49ers as much as you'd think it does.
Shouldn't the final kick not matter, though? If we're discussing like the quarterback play.
I agree, but it does. You know what I mean?
Well, no, because you just said it doesn't.
No, it does, is what I'm saying. If Moody makes that kick,
we're celebrating Purdy.
We are talking about how Brock Purdy overcame his worst start in rain with the best defense bearing down on him. He was able to lead the team to a 41-yard field goal. The guy missed it. But the fact that he missed it, it does affect Purdy's first loss now. And even though he didn't lose, even though the game wasn't necessarily lost on the last play, he didn't do enough before that to win it.
But it'd still be the worst game of his professional career,
right?
No matter what.
But it would be like Tim Lincecum winning a game 5-4 when he gives up 4 runs in 6 innings just because he didn't have his best stuff, but he still kept him in the game, and he didn't throw 3 interceptions. You know what I'm saying?
Well, didn't Purdy still keep him in the game? They just missed the kick.
What are you saying? You don't think it would have been? You don't think we'd be all over Brock Purdy today in terms of positivity?
We should be able to still break down, even had they won, that this was Brock's worst performance.
Exactly.
It was his worst performance. But like I said, Moody makes the kick, and we're talking about how this guy just wins.
But still, we would talk about his performance wasn't up to standards.
Right. But it wouldn't matter because they still would have won.
Well, no, but then we would have heard the Jimmy Garoppolo comparison.
Yeah. No, we wouldn't have.
You know what?
No chance.
Wait, you wouldn't have?
Nobody would have here. If Jake Moody makes that kick, you think people are calling in talking about Garoppolo?
I wonder if you would be bringing it up.
They lost the game.
Right, but still, would you bring up like his deficiencies he had that we saw yesterday, even had they won?
Of course.
It sounds like you would have flushed his performance out and been like, hey, he won with his D- game.
He did. He would have. If Moody makes a kick, I think we're in here saying gutsy win by Brock Purdy on the road against the best defensive team in football in the rain. He had, one touchdown, one interception.
You could still kind of say that because he didn't miss the kick and he got him down there. But that doesn't, to me, Evan, supersede this was by far his worst performance.
Yeah, he was terrible.
He was bad. Yeah. If you want to,
I don't understand what we're debating.
I guess, Donnie, it just sounded like you were saying had that kick went through the upright.
That's right.
We wouldn't be talking about his bad game still on an individual basis.
Not nearly to the degree we are now. He
still would have been awful had they won.
Look, we're in San Francisco. 49er fans are here. If Brock Purdy turns that game into a game-winning drive where Moody kicks a 40-yard field goal, I think we're sitting here saying, well, now look what he did. He passed the test. He won ugly. Like he won ugly. But because the kick was missed, now we can start saying, there's a lot that happened during the course of that game that wasn't great to see if you're a Niner fan. Danny's in Hayward. What's up, Danny? How you doing, man?
Actually, they got my name wrong. It's Grandpa Daddy.
Oh, we know you. Hey, Grandpa, how you doing, buddy?
Man, you know what? Listen.
You sound down.
Yeah, that was Purdy's worst. That was Purdy's worst game. But I still have faith, man. Look, he was in the rain. He was tested. Shake it off. Get back up. And look, you're right, Steiny. If Moody makes the field goal, we're talking about, Purdy did. But he still did the same thing, even though Moody missed a field goal. If Moody would have made it, then it would have been, we're talking about Brock winning. But no, Brock didn't win, and he didn't win and he didn't lose because it's a team effort. It's a team game. Why does everybody always say about Brock Purdy won 5, 10 in a row? Brock Purdy didn't win 10 in a row. The team won 10 in a row. It's a team game, right? Gentlemen?
Yep.
It's not all Brock.
No.
But Grandpa Daddy, I'm not mad at anything you said, but the rat on the table is he had been playing so well. Like he hadn't had this game, so it was just awkward, and you got to keep it real that he was not up to his standards that he set. That's what this was about. He didn't look like the guy that he had been. That's all. This was the first time we seen it.
But Goo, he's a human being. Can he have a bad game, bro?
No doubt.
He's a human being. He's not perfect. None of us are. Only God's perfect.
Well,
he's going to have a bad game. But you know what? He's going to bounce back. He's going to get back up. He's going to put on his big boy pants, and we're going to see him next week in Minnesota. I got faith in the kid. I think because of what he's shown us, I've got faith in him, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call, Grandpa Daddy.
Nobody's out, or you would be stupid to be out. And I'm not saying Grandpa Daddy was. Nobody's out. It was a bad game. It was game 6. They move on Monday night, but nobody is taking what went down in Cleveland. I would hope not, I'm out.
Doesn't matter if they're out or not. You know what I mean? This is where, sorry, fans, you don't matter. You're out on Purdy. So what?
Yep.
So don't watch the games. Lost. Don't watch the games then. Yeah. If you're out on Purdy, because he's going to start next week, and if he's healthy, he'll start the week after that.
Now, will he have McCaffrey and Debo at his disposal?
I'm convinced that the more I think about it, that Shanahan and it's after Bosa said they didn't deserve to win. I'm convinced Shanahan's glad they lost this game. I'll bet you he's glad that kick didn't go in. In a way.
If you looked at him on the sideline,
in a way,
Steiny.
You almost don't want to get away with that. Seriously. You end up winning that game. There's almost a sense of untouchable.
Elliott Ness.
I mean, they win that game, and now you're saying, how are they ever going to get beat? Because they weren't. You look perplexed, Evan.
Well, if they win that game, they have home field advantage in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's what we said they set out to do.
But what I'm saying is, yes, you're right about that. But what I'm saying is, Kyle Shanahan's the kind of guy who's like, that's the kind of game where if you get rewarded with a win, I think it hurts you down the line. I really do.
Sometimes you got to be lucky, right? Like,
No,
I think he didn't get any sleep last night.
Who?
Kyle. That guy was grinding mentally on the sideline to get the dub.